I was just meditating, and apparently it woke up Oz the Wonder Dog. Actually, I wasn't really meditating, but I was just sort of showing an example of how many people think of meditation, sitting down in a lotus position and chanting or humming. Is that the way you think of meditation? Do you know that there's actually lots of different kinds of meditation? There's sitting, there's standing, and there's moving. And today we're going to talk about Tai Chi as a moving meditation. Hi, I'm David-Dorian Ross. That was Oz the Wonder Dog. Welcome to the Cherry Blossom Studios. Today is day number 18 of 100 days of Tai Chi. I've got a brand new movement for us. I've got an answer to a viewer question, and I got a question for you around meditation. But all that's going to come up right after this. Today's new movement is called the Slanting Flying position. And it's really supposed to be like a little bird, a little swallow, taking off into flight, but not flying straight up, flying at a diagonal higher and higher and higher into the sky. Watch me one time and then we'll break it down and do it together. So we're starting again from the end position of repulsing the monkey. One step, one motion, and it takes you all the way there. Let's break that down. First, let's take a look at the footwork. So the footwork here is a little bit different than the other footwork that we have learned and that we'll be performing in this, in that the step goes blindly into a corner. Even when we're doing repulse monkey, we're sort of not going into a corner, we're on a straight line, we're moving backwards. But this step starts out moving diagonally into a position, open the hips, and then make a bow step as I turn around. It's a very unusual kind of step. Let's break that down one more time. In fact, I'm going to turn here to face you so that you can see how this works. We start off in an empty step with my right foot in front. Now you can follow along in the mirror image here. I start out by bringing the right foot back into a little T right here, a little tap of the floor, toe on the floor right next to my supporting leg. Then I'm going to step this right foot diagonally back behind me. Now it's in a line with the supporting foot. This supporting foot is already turned out at a 45-degree angle, right, for my empty step here. When I step back, I'm stepping right along that line, 45 degrees. I land on my toe, and then I sort of pivot that right foot to open up the hips. This right toe continues to turn out until it's pointing into the corner. The left toes pivot also. They point all the way straight ahead. And so now I've created a new bow step with one foot at 45 degrees relative to the other foot. And I finish looking all the way into the corner. One more time, let me just take another stab at this from another angle. Here I am at the end of repulsed monkey. I step into a T-step. I step back along the diagonal, open the hips, turn this toe all the way around, turn this toe forward, and wind up facing in the direction of the forward foot. Okay? So now I'm in a regular bow step, a regular Tai Chi lunge. Here's what the hands are doing. The hands were beginning at the repulsed monkey position, so I have one hand pushing forward and the other hand at my hip, palm up. They start off by circling around to make a holding the ball, which we also call embracing the moon. This is something I haven't really talked about a whole lot, but we call this position embracing the moon. So I make embracing the moon position. Then I slowly begin to take the bottom hand and extend it out. This is the little bird flying higher and higher and higher. And at the end, it's at a slant from the top arm to the bottom arm. Right? I also sort of move in a slanted fashion as I move my center of gravity from the left foot into the middle and sort of slant my way into the bow step, into the Tai Chi lunge. Right? So they start off in a hold the ball, and then the right hand flies away like a little bird. Beautiful. All right, let's put that back together one more time. Watch me from a couple of different angles, starting out from the end of repulsed monkey here. I hold the ball, step into a T-step. Step back along the diagonal, open the hips, keep on turning. There goes the little bird. Beautiful. One more time from a slightly different angle. If I was to start here in repulsing the monkey, I would gather up my moon and step in T-step. Step back along the diagonal, open up the hips, and there goes a little bird flying away. Should we do that one more time? Let me just do it facing you one last time so that you can see the whole relationship. Here I am repulsing the monkey, step in and grab the moon, step back along the diagonal, open the hips, keep on turning. Today's viewer question of the day comes to us from Diane, who wanted to know at the end of squeeze, in seizing the sparrow's tail, where do the fingers go against the wrist here? This is a great question because there's a little bit of confusion about the proximity or the action of hand against hand in seizing the sparrow's tail, because we actually have two positions where one hand is in a ward-off shape and the other hand comes close. And so it's a little bit confusing. Are they both the same? Are they different? Does one touch? Does one not touch? And so let me answer that question for you, and thank you for that inspiration. So we first have the position ward off, which in traditional Yang family Tai Chi is a rounded and expanded arm here. In this case, it's on my right side. I'm using my right arm here. And the other hand almost, but not necessarily quite touching, or if it does touch, it's just brushing very lightly against the wrist here. Now, the Chinese character for this actually shows two hands, like a big hand and a little hand. And the little hand mimics the sort of the claw of a bird, which is where we get the name seizing the sparrow's tail. Seizing the tail of the small bird is what's actually probably more accurately translated. And so this small bird hand is almost, but sort of gently implied right there, expanding against the ward-off hand. But then we go from ward off to roll back, and then the next position here is squeeze, sometimes translated as press. And in this movement, we have a different relationship between the two hands. I've once again got a ward-off arm, but in this case, the other hand, in this case my left hand, actually goes right on the forearm. It goes right on the midpoint between the wrist and the elbow here, touches and pushes. Now I've got ward off with extra strength. So the two hands are squeezing together. The ward off hand is the place where you're making the contact, but definitely the other hand is adding emphasis. And so when you're doing seizing the sparrow's tail, even though these two movements look similar, they're actually performed with a different energy, different action, different relationship between the two hands. All right, once again, thank you for that question. That was really great. Now, let me talk about my question to you. My question is about thinking about meditation. And a lot of times people think about meditation as sitting and being quiet and being very internal. But there's more than one way to get internal. In fact, in the practice of Tai Chi, what we're trying to do is be very inwardly directed, because we're looking for something special on the inside. And what we're looking for, according to the Tai Chi principles and classics, is a place of tranquility, right? Which I guess is what everybody looks for when they're meditating. The thing is that in Tai Chi, we say you look for that tranquility in the center of motion and action and chaos, right? So we're doing a moving meditation because I want to create motion, mimicking the action of the world around me. we do think about this as a martial art. So what a great metaphor for action that goes on all around you in a fight. But in the midst of that fight, find your tranquility, find your center, find your calm and still place right on the inside. And so Tai Chi is what we call a moving meditation. And what's really great about this is that there's a lot of people who think that meditation might be a great idea, would love to try meditation, but sitting still is a real challenge. In fact, this was what drove me to try Tai Chi in the first place. I was actually starting out looking for meditation, but I could not sit still. So I went back to my resources, the book I was reading about meditation, and it said basically, try Tai Chi. It's meditation in motion. There you go. All right, so that leads me to my question of the day for you. Do you meditate? And if you meditate, do you do standing, sitting, or moving? And one more piece of that question, I'd love to know where you started, where you learned to meditate. Anyway, that's my question for the day. Please write those answers down in the comments. I loved your answers from yesterday about what was your first martial art. That was very insightful. I look forward to hearing even more about that. If you have a question, please go ahead and write it into the comment section below. Your questions are just awesome, beyond belief, and I want to keep using them in the video lessons as well. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say, also, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it so you get notified, share this with friends if you please. And as always, keep practicing your Tai Chi and having some fun with it. Remember, Tai Chi was meant to be played, not worked. That's my thought for the day. Be well, my friends, be wise, be wonderful, and I'll see you in the next lesson.